Well, there are actors that you love for the kind of films that they do. You like them for the roles that they essay, and there are actors who you love for maybe the songs that they sing. But what happens when you can't slot an actor? Well, there is that variety, and Jim Sarbh falls bang in the middle of it. Jim, it's such a pleasure to have you on ET Now.
Thank you.
How's Diwali treating you and the business of entertainment?
Diwali is treating me great. It's still to come, but I hope we get a couple quiet days. I'll be returning from London on the 29th, and then Diwali is what, 1st, 2nd?
That's right.
31st, 1st? Hopefully we'll be able to have a nice quiet day at a friend's house. Play some teen patti.
Oh, that's right. Is that something that you normally do?
Yeah, Parsis, we call it flush, and it's a big family game for us, betting on teen patti.
Yeah. But tell me about the journey in acting, because when I started off by saying that, you're a difficult actor to peg as a certain kind, and you've been blessed with a variety of roles. There is a certain amount of villainy that we saw you make a mark with Neerja, and of course with Padmavat, and that shot you into the limelight.
Right.
But do you agree that you're hard to slot?
Maybe.
Do you like it that way?
I prefer it when other people describe me.
Oh, is it?
Then I describe myself.
No, but then how do you react when people try and figure out? Because I was trying to catch what people were saying about you right now. And the word Padmavat kept coming back, etc.
Padmavat.
So you've been known for certain things.
I think it depends on the crowd. I think it depends on the audience. Some people know me from Neerja, some people know me from Padmavat, some people know me only from Sanju, some people know me from Tesh, some people know me from Rocket Boys. I think it just depends on Made in Heaven.
Right.
If I go anywhere abroad, mostly people know me from Made in Heaven.
Made in Heaven.
So I think it just depends on the crowd. I think my approach to it is just roles I find interesting. Yeah.
So the kind of roles that you find interesting. Is that a lot to do with your background in theatre? It kind of drew you into a certain sense of what you're good at. The kind of roles that draw you in would be of a certain kind. I'm not quite sure. When you say you can choose your roles, it is a tough thing for someone who's not been part of the industry. And breaking in, I know, was difficult for you, wasn't it?
Yeah. To be very honest, I didn't think very much about it. I was hoping to be in films always, but I was acting in theatre and I was very, very busy, and I thoroughly enjoyed doing that as well. The shift has happened since being in a few films, because I think my heart lies with the form of cinema. I think it's just extremely beautiful. I always loved the rush of being on stage and doing theatre, but something about the timelessness of cinema, the immortalization of cinema, and even just what you can achieve with editing and music and sound to create a visceral experience in an audience is something that I think is just my favorite experience of 2.5, 3 hours is usually an amazing film. That's what it's been since I was a kid.
Right.
So I guess what I'm chasing constantly is being in films or web series or anything where when I watch it, I just love it. And it really has nothing to do with me. I just slot in as a part within the overall mechanism that is beautiful.
Has cinema evolved to that extent where you continue to find it beautiful? Because there are a lot of critics out there saying that we are churning out like factories.
I don't know about all of that. I just watched All We Imagine As Light on Friday.
Yes.
Yesterday I watched Santosh. Then I watched The Substance. These are all fantastic, extremely different movies, and all just incredibly beauul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very emphatic.
No. I'm hoping to watch Girls Will Be Girls tonight.
Yes.
I'm hoping to watch The Fable tomorrow. I'm hoping to watch Anora. I'm very excited. I think as people continue to develop in general, the cinema will only keep getting better and better. Of course, there'll be critics and there'll be people who don't like this kind of film or that kind of film. But I like that attempts are being constantly made, Lots of people just now are saying negative things about Jigra, but I went and watched it and I quite enjoyed it. I can see what Vasan is going for,
Right.
I can see what he's trying to do, and I see that there's something very interesting there. It's almost like South cinema meets anime. He's trying to do some kind of strange mixture in it. And so there are a lot of very beautiful, memorable shots that I remember from it. Very, very memorable and beautiful images that he's created, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as
So
cinema
we're pushing, you know, where everyone
pushing
is,
the boundaries, you think?
Yeah, I think
But bit
people
by
are,
bit.
are figuring out where everything stands. You know, maybe we feel that there's this, like what you were saying that critics would say that, no, what were you saying about critics?
I'm just saying that they would say that it's not evolved enough, that we are like, because we need to churn out so much, sometimes the quality goes for a toss and we're seeing the same stories rehashed. The entire art of storytelling perhaps needs to go through innovations.
I
And
think,
that sometimes we are shorn of scripts.
but I think it is going through innovations. It's just a question of what you go and see and what you wind up seeking out, you know? I don't think you should trust only what is being presented to you. I think you should seek out the kinds of things that you are interested in as an audience member. And only when the audience supports that
Right.
wholeheartedly
Right.
can that kind of cinema continue to develop.
Right.
Which we've seen that they do with the Lapata Ladies,
Right.
Manjumal Boys. We're okay. We're
Right.
doing okay.
Right.
We're doing okay.
So tell me about your journey, because it started off from a family of people who were in art.
Yeah.
And you wanted to pursue your acting in a huge way.
Well, okay, so my grandfather started the Pandol Art Gallery, which is now run by my uncle, Dadiba Pandol. My dad was into shipping.
Right.
He was a captain on a ship when I was born.
Right.
And we moved to Sydney. So it's not like I was around it when I was growing up. And
Oh,
even
I
when
see.
we
So you
came
weren't
back,
immersed in art.
I mean, it was,
Right.
no, we were in Sydney for so many years. And then we came back, and by the time we came back, we lived separately from my uncle. You know, it wasn't like a joint family situation. My uncle on my mother's side. So yes, there are connections, but it's not like I was like seeped in it constantly.
Right. Yes.
So there was no pressure about going into art or
But did you
anything
convince
like
them
that.
about going into acting? Because I know you started into psychology.
I studied psychology at Emory. Yeah, it was a little bit of a convincing. It was a little bit of a convincing.
Correct.
I
And it
think-
took a few
I
successes.
think they saw that there was some
Potential.
some flair there and some potential there. Yeah,
Right,
I think
yeah.
they saw that. Yeah.
Right, right. So when you look back at your career so far, and clearly you have a long way to go, the direction that you're giving your career at this point in time, is it thought through? Is it about understanding where the business of entertainment is headed right now?
Somewhat. I don't
Because
know.
I see you doing a lot more of the things around it as well. Because I'm seeing you do the endorsements. It's all about the marketing aspect of it is so intrinsic, for example, to the business of entertainment, which is
Right.
why I asked that sometimes it can distract, it can take away from what you're trying to do. And is there something that you've trained your mind towards?
No, I just feel anyone. I see older people retire and feel like they have nothing in their lives anymore. I wouldn't like to be in that kind of a space. I would like to have continued to nurture other things constantly, so that I don't feel my sole definition is through work.
Ah, okay. So how do you feel when you say something about the process of acting, it gets pinned down to a Ranveer Singh, and then, you know, there is this entire
Oh
brouhaha
yeah, that was
around
so
it.
stupid. I don't even. It was an interview 4 years later. It had nothing to do with him. It was so funny. I guess people like to correlate things. People like to. I don't know, man. I don't know how the news cycle works. You tell me.
There was a story there. Someone found it and decided to make it big. But tell me about the
They
process.
edited together two completely separate clips.
Right.
Anyway, it's just funny.
But
It's
do
just
you have
funny.
a process of acting?
Do I have a process of acting? I think it depends on the project.
Right.
I have no one main process that I just slap on to whatever project arrives.
So give me an example where you went deep inside a character and the route that you took for it.
I think usually it's just rehearsal, preparation, workshop, you know? You do all the basic steps, which is a certain amount of research, finding out from the director if they want you to, let's say it's based on a real person like Dr. Baba. Do you want me to do the voice?
Right.
Do you want me to do the things associated with that? No, you don't. Okay, so then voice is out, you know? How much would you like me to change my look? However, the look also depends on whether you're doing other projects at the time. You know, it would have probably been easier to just put on 15 kgs to be Dr. Homi Bhabha. It would have probably been easier, right?
Correct.
But Made in Heaven was happening simultaneously, whose look is already set. So all of these things emerge. But in terms of purely my approach to the scene, I think it is run the lines, try to rehearse with the director if you can, try to rehearse with your co-actors, work on it separately as much as you can, really have those lines inside of you and understand the point of the scene within the structure of the whole.
Right.
I think if you understand the point of the scene within the structure of the whole, you understand which shades you need to bring to the character. Then of course there are all kinds of other philosophies and theories on acting that, you know, you embody. Like I believe in opposites. I believe that somebody being brave is actually also afraid. It's never one thing.
Right.
It's often a complicated mix of 2 or 3 things. So then it becomes about when you show bravery and when you show fear, when you show nervousness and when you show bravery, when you show insecurity, when you show what is bravery? Bravery is acknowledging the fear and overcoming it anyway, right? If a purely brave person with no fear is like the stupidest person on earth, I don't want to be around that person. I want them to know that there are risks.
Right.
So we are prepared for it when we get into it as a
Right.
teammate, you know?
Right.
Like that.
Yeah.
So
So the collaborativeness, of course, as far as other actors in a certain film are concerned, or like a Rocket Boys, which brings me to the kind of reason why you're here, yeah? So you'll find a link, a marketing link sometimes for the kind of characters that you choose to play.
right. I didn't find this link, they did.
Right. So there are people outside who are doing that.
People outside
and
do
that works
things.
out well for you, right?
This lady.
In the entire.
She's saying it's done.
So sometimes you'll find a marketing link for the kind of characters that you essay,
Sure.
right? Like what happened in Rocket Boys.
Well, somebody else finds it. I don't usually find it.
Correct, right. So then that works out.
Yeah,
Right?
works out great.
And those are the kind of characters that actually get you critical acclaim as well. And it works out. But are these easy to find? These kind of roles, these kind of.
Dr. Baba was a once in a lifetime, once in a generation human being.
Yes.
So no, it's not easy to find.
But of course, the thrust is going to be for you to find these roles and to be able to do more of these. Is that the direction you're going to take? Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Well, good luck, and we hope you have an excellent Diwali, Jan.
Thank you very much. Happy
Thanks
Diwali.
so much. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.